I don't show my hands.
Yeah, you can do it. You can do whatever you know.
I know I don't have pockets.
That's true. I'll keep my hands out of my pockets too. Obviously. Yeah, but anyway, whatever you feel like doing this.
First position, ready, go.
Yeah, actually,
good.
Shalia studied dance for a while.
Yeah, okay. You can give me some steps.
I think you should give me the steps.
Carla is from Brazil, discovered at the age of 13 by artistic director Peter Boll when he danced for the New York City Ballet. I would say, after watching Carla for the past few years at PNB, she is probably one of the most exciting dancers in the world, at least in my humble opinion. Do you have a certain attitude that there's got to be pure ballet over here and the modern dance is something different? Or have you found dancers that try to be purists about it, saying that we shouldn't mix and we should try to keep them separate?
I think it's impossible because we want ballet to evolve, and like the big ballet companies that do the classics, like American Ballet Theater, for example, they're already bringing all these other types of movement too, because they're seeing that in order for the dancers to evolve and become like modern, not modern dancers, but like today's dancers, a complete dancer, they need to know all this kind of movements. We're doing so many different types of dance, and a lot of dances like the Quijada, I didn't work with him, but what I hear from the dancers is like he wanted them to be like real people. And we get a lot of dances these days where they keep saying, no, I want you to be a real person. like Romeo and Juliet. I want to be like Juliet.
Your idealized
ballerina. And they kept saying, no, you're like a real woman and you're like aggressive and like you're kind of like stubborn and you want it your way and you can't act.
It's funny. You were more aggressive than Romeo was, I thought.
Well, you're supposed to in this version.
Yes.
But I think that's what it is. I think we keep working on being humans, which is weird.
Yeah.
We're so used to being ballerinas, and a ballerina carry herself a certain way. Like we're more upright and we're beautiful and we do beautiful movements. And when they say be more real, be more human, like don't be afraid of looking ugly, and everybody's like, oh.
You got to drop the whole ideal of why you got into it in the first place, in a way.
Yeah, you got to drop the idea of tiara and perfect positions. And I think that's kind of practice makes us more comfortable in the studio.
Now, when you're not in the studio, when you're not on stage,
I'm always like this.
That's what I was wondering.
No, I'm kidding.
Do you when you eat your breakfast, do you
yes,
eat?
Like this.
Yeah.
No,
when
actually,
you walk in the grocery store. Can people tell you're a ballerina when you're
There's
not?
something about dancers that you can't hide it, and you go around and all of a sudden people are like, oh, you're a dancer? And you're like, yeah. And they're like, oh, I knew it. And I'm like, why? I don't know. I don't know if you have this experience, but a lot of people have this experience where they know we're dancers. Or sometimes when I drink water, my boyfriend's like, why'd you hold your cup like that? I'm like, I don't know. Isn't that how everybody holds a cup?
Right. Some of the dancers in the troupe, Stanko, for example, he's
Incredible.
huge. What is he, 6'3" or?
I don't know, but he makes you feel like you're like a feather or something.
Yeah.
He picks you up and he's like, and you're like, wow.
Does that make you feel like you are literally flying through the air when that happens?
Literally. There was this lift in Nutcracker, the big music happens and we're in the corner and he throws you up and he's holding you up twice and he's running from one side to the other.
Yes.
You definitely feel like you're flying.
Is that the best sensation in all of dance when that happens?
Swan Lake has a moment like that too. Right at the end, you're exhausted and it's when she's dying, she's leaving, and you run to the corner and then you run towards each other and he lifts you and it's just the best feeling. It's indescribable. It's you can fly.
Have you ever been dropped?
Ah, yes.
How often does that happen? Because you never see it on stage, thank goodness. But I would imagine.
Well.
Oh, really? It does happen on stage?
Occasionally.
Oh.
Not really. I mean, we practice so much that you don't see it that often, but it's live performance.
Yeah.
Something will happen.
Do you have to take acting lessons while you do this? Because that's another thing I've noticed over the years, in that it seems like the dancing is becoming more believable. It's not just about the form, it's really about emoting more and connecting with the audience. I saw a similar trend in opera. The opera singers nowadays, they have to take acting lessons, they have to be in better physical shape, which obviously doesn't apply to you, but the acting part was huge, because before in opera, you just have to sound good when you sing, and that was good enough. But it wasn't cutting it in the modern age. So as a dancer...
Yeah, for us, I guess it would be helpful if we had acting classes occasionally, especially for the full-length ballets. But it's kind of funny, like the more we do pieces where we have to be real, the more we find that place where we're not really performing anymore.
You're 28 now. How long do you think you can dance? Another 10 years, 15 years, 20 years?
That's the thing about ballet. It could be like a year or it could be 10. It all depends how your body feels, and it all depends how emotionally you feel. Like I feel like if a dancer gets to a point where it's not growing anymore, it's not like, you're not living it anymore, it's just a job, then it's time to, do something else. Like we're very creative people, and like if it's not fulfilling you that way, then it's not worth it. But I don't know, I would like to dance until like I'm 40. That was always my dream, and maybe I'll make it.
Well.
I don't know, like I'm looking, like people are asking, what are you going to do in 10 years, 20 years? I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do next year. Like, I just want to kind of like ride the wave.
Yeah, just be in the moment.
More and more, yeah.
I think that's good advice for all of us. Carla Korbes is a principal dancer with the Pacific Northwest Ballet. Be sure to catch her in All Balanchine on April 15th, or Coppelia, which is going to be a world premiere. That is going to be a real treat. Carla, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.